Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Antony.
Today is day 2 of a 2-day lesson in our Business English category, sharing with you some words that could be useful to you in the future because many people end up working in the world of business. We introduced 2 and only 2 characters yesterday. The owner of the restaurant is a woman called Greta, and her manager, the person who actually runs the business for her, his name is Charles, but everybody calls him Chuck. They were discussing some of the problems because of the COVID-19 pandemic that many businesses are having, fewer customers and separating people. Some people don't want to eat in that style and stop going to restaurants, so it's hard to keep your business running in these situations. And things are getting a little bit bad for them. They discussed what they can do about this problem. And today we will find out Greta's solution or what her choice is going to be to try to save her business.
没错，我们今天要继续介绍这个餐厅。好，我们刚刚老师有简单的做一些前情提要，对不对？餐厅的店老板叫 Greta， 然后他的这个店经理呢叫做 Chuck， 然后他们在讨论到说，在疫情的情况之下，顾客变少，食材呢变贵，他们要怎么样能够继续往下这个发展他们的事业？那提到说还有2条路，第一条路呢就是把一些食材呢，或是把一些这个菜啊从这个菜单上拿掉，另外一个呢就是可能要砍掉一些员工，不然的话他们4到5个月就会倒店。好，我们最后看看到底在今天这个对话里面 Greta 最后的决定是什么，我们赶快看下去。
Cutting costs. Dialogue B. A few days later, Greta returns to the restaurant to tell Chuck her decision.
Hi, Chuck. I've made up my mind.
Okay, boss. What should we do?
We'll cut costs in the short term by limiting our menu. I want you to talk with our chefs and cut out at least 1/3 of our menu items.
It's a good thing you came to check on things. I was just about to place an order for ingredients.
Good. Some of our suppliers might be let down, but I'd rather offer fewer high-quality dishes than a full menu of lower-quality products.
I agree with that decision, but what about our staff and the payroll?
Right now, we still have time to boost business. Furthermore, our full-time workers have been loyal to the company, and we have a great team. I don't want to sacrifice that just to save a few bucks.
That's a respectable decision. However, if business doesn't improve in the next month or 2, we won't have a choice.
I understand that the situation isn't favorable, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
All right, I'll talk to the employees and work on a reduced menu.
Thanks, Chuck. I'm sure we can get through this.
I hope so.
Okay, it's important to remember that at the end of the conversation yesterday, Greta said she needed a little time to make up her mind, and the dialogue today takes place a few days later, so she's given this some good thought. She greets her manager. Hi, Chuck. I've made up my mind. You should learn this because it means I have made a decision.Yeah,
所以这边的话呢，到后来a few days later， 经过几天之后 ，Greta 呢刚好回到这个餐厅呢，然后碰到这个他的店经理，就跟他讲一下他最后的决定是什么。然后 Greta 讲说 ，Hi Chuck, I've made up my mind。所以 made up my mind 通常指好，我下定决心了，我决定要这么做了。这是很好用的一个片语哦 ，make up one's mind。在这边的话是用 I have made up my mind， 我已经做好最后的决定了。这个句子的话要学起来哦。
Chuck says, okay, boss, what should we do? Now, Chuck is calling Greta boss because she is the one who owns the restaurant. And when we use boss, it's a sign of respect. Right, boss?
Yeah. 老师你不要闹，这样折煞我啊！所以说今天的话，那个 Chuck 讲说 OK boss， 好，用 boss 这个方式来表达说你对对方的尊敬啊，因为毕竟这店老板是他嘛。What should we do？ 那我们该怎么做呢？请你下达指示吧。这样。
Greta says, we'll cut costs in the short term. Remember from yesterday, in the short term, maybe certainly the next few days, weeks, maybe a month or two, not a long time, we will cut costs by limiting our menu. And they discussed this choice or option yesterday. If you have a lot of different dishes on your menu, you have to keep a lot of different kinds of food, fresh food, available in your restaurant. And if people don't order it, well, maybe you can take it home and eat it, but you can't make money from it. So that is her first choice. Then she said, I want you to talk with our chefs. Chefs are cooks, high-class cooks, and cut out. Here, cut out means to stop, not just reducing, but to stop doing something, at least not less than 1/3 of our menu items, which is, they discussed this option or choice, but not in such detail. And Greta thinks, okay, let's get rid of a third of the menu items. Then we don't have to keep so much food in the restaurant, and we know which items our customers like, they prefer. We also know the ones they don't order very often. So that's a smart move.
没错，所以这边的话 Greta 就告诉你了。好，他说 We'll cut costs in the short term by doing something. 我们用这个方式，后面这个方式来降低我们的成本吧。By limiting our menu. 好，想办法我把我们的这个菜单上面的菜拿掉一些。好 ，limiting 就是慢慢把它变少，把它限制在一定的数量里头。You can say limiting our menu to maybe 3 dishes, 4 dishes. 后面可以接 to， 然后再配上范围。I wanted to talk with our chefs. 好，我希望你跟我们的这个大厨聊一聊。通常提到 chefs 的话，都是那种高档的餐厅会用 chef 这个字来表达。And cut out 就是 stop using， 不是只是 reduce 而已。老师刚刚有特别提到 ，at least 1/3 of our menu item。好，在这边的话 ，1/3 的意思呢，就是指1/3，我们要去除掉1/3的菜。如果说全部有30道，那就变成20道这样子的那种感觉。那在这边的话 ，1/3 的话，我们会用 1/3，但是如果是2/3的话，我们会讲 2/3。那个只要是分子大于1，就2啊3的时候，分母的部分的话就要加上 s， 然后分母的部分就要用序数，好，要用这个 third, fourth, fifth 这种方式去表达。
Chuck says, it's a good thing you came to check on things. I'm glad that we had this discussion a few days ago and that you've had time to give it some serious thought. After all, I work in this restaurant too, and if we go out of business, then I don't have a job either. I was just about to place an order for ingredients. So it's also a good time because maybe if she had waited another 2 days, Chuck, the manager, would have already ordered from, we call them food wholesalers, a lot of food to stock, S-T-O-C-K, to stock the restaurant with enough food for the next week or so.
没错，老师刚刚提到这个 stock 这个字的话，可以当名词，可以当动词。如果说今天当名词的时候，就代表你可能试着去这些存货。好，比方说 something is out of stock， 代表是它现在目前没有货。那如果说 stock 或 stock the shelves， 意思就是把货上架，所以它可以当动词，可以当名词来使用。所以到来 Chuck 这个店经理就讲说 ，It's a good thing you came to check on things。哦，还好你有来，你来了真的很好，可以告诉我们要怎么做，对不对？去照料一下这个生意后续的发展。I was just about to， 我正要做什么事情 ？To place an order for ingredients， 我正要去购买食材，可能平常固定的话都会就是去跟去买什么蔬菜啦、水果啊、肉饭啊等等，要去下单订货嘛，对不对？要订这些食材的话 ，place an order for something 就是去下订单的意思。
Okay, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out if there are any other choices that Greta made. Welcome back. Now let's continue, and we start with Greta. Good. Yeah, I'm glad I did come at this time, so you did not place that order. Those orders are not like we're going to the restaurant and order our meal. They're ordering for a whole restaurant and normally for about a week. That's a lot of food. That's a big bill. So Greta says, some of our suppliers might be let down. I mentioned before, you go to a food wholesaler, it's like a huge market, and especially for people who are in the food industry, restaurants in particular. To be let down is to make someone feel disappointed about something. On the other hand, these people know what's going on, so at least they won't be surprised, but life is not always happy endings. And she continues, but I'd rather offer fewer high-quality dishes. Remember, one was a steak, the steak platter. Now, we all know steak is a lot more expensive than, say, chicken. That would be, steak is a high-quality dish. If there are fewer steak choices on the menu, the restaurant can save more money. And she would rather that happen than a full menu of lower quality products. Keep a couple high quality dishes, but just a couple, and it's easy to supply that. Don't get rid of all the really tasty, even though they are expensive dishes, and then people come in and fried chicken, spaghetti, and sandwiches. Doesn't make for a great meal.
没错，所以在这边的话 Greta 就讲说了，哎，太好了 ，good， 哈，刚好来的正是时候，你刚好要下单，对不对 ？Some of our suppliers might be let down。好，这 supplier 的话就是我们的这个协力厂商，我们买肉啊、买菜的这些对象，对不对？老师刚刚特别有提到一个字，哈，我特别说一下 ，food wholesaler。好 ，full food 这没问题。Wholesalers 的话就是相对于 retailer 零售商 ，wholesaler 就是一次就卖很多的这种比较中盘啊、大盘这种盘商 ，OK？ 所以他说，哎，也许我们这些这些跟我们合作这些 suppliers 好厂商呢 ，maybe let down 可能会有点失望啊，我买的分量没有像以前那么多啦。But I'd rather 好，这个地方帮我把 I'd rather 圈起来。I'd rather A than B。那这个 then 跟后面这个 then 圈起来之后，你会发到 A 的部分是什么 ？Offer fewer high quality dishes。它呢可以去把一些高价位的东西拿掉，但是还是保留这些高价位好吃的东西，保留一部分比较少，但是还是要有。Then 而不要呢a full menu of lower quality products， 而不是一堆菜单上都是一些那种老师提到说 spaghetti、French fries、好 sandwiches、fried chickens 这种比较廉价的这种食物，他不要这样做。所以你看到 I rather A than B 的时候，你把 I rather 跟 then 圈起来，你很快就知道他要什么，他不要什么。
Chuck says, I agree with that decision. He doesn't need with that decision. He can just say, I agree. I think you have the right idea. Well, that was option one we talked about yesterday. The second choice or option was the staff. And, of course, Chuck wants to know, but what about our staff and the payroll? The staff, the people, the chefs, the waiters, the person who takes care of the money in and out or greets people, all of these sorts of things, the people who clean the restaurant and so on, that's your full staff. You have to pay them. And so the payroll is a list of people who work and how much you pay them, whether you pay them by week or month or whatever. But that's your payroll, and that's often the most expensive thing in a restaurant.
没错，所以接下来呢，这个 Chuck 就讲说 I agree with that decision 啊，我很同意你做这样的决定哦。But what about our staff and the payroll？ 老师刚刚解释了 payroll 就是一连串的这个名单，那名单上每一个都是为你工作的员工嘛，你要付他们薪水。那 what about our staff？ 那我们的员工 and the payroll 和他们的薪水这个部分怎么处理呢？
Right now, says Greta, for the time being, right now, we still have time to boost business. We have a chance, we have an opportunity to increase our business. Furthermore, in addition, moreover, also, our full-time workers have been loyal to the company. Well, that tells me that Chuck is a good manager and Greta is a good boss, a good owner. Because people who are happy with their work, they want to stay there and they do their best. And we have a great team. Here, team is the staff. They work together like members of a sports team. They help each other out. They encourage each other and so on. I don't want to sacrifice that. I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give up our staff, ask some of them to leave, just to save a few bucks is another way to say a small amount of money.
没错，所以接下来就讲啦，这个听起来好感动哦。他说 ，Right now we still have time to boost business. Boost 这个字呢，常常会听到像 boost our economy。很多时候呢，你会听到促进经济的发展，提升什么东西。老师刚刚提到另外一个字 increase， 你不妨可以把它写在 boost 上面。increase 这个字我们非常的熟嘛，所以就可以把它绑在一起。Boost business 就是我们想办法把我们的这个业绩把它做起来，想办法来招揽更多的客人。我们还有时间可以去做这样的事情。Furthermore， 老师刚刚给了一系列许许多多其他的说法，对不对 ？Moreover 等等。Our full-time workers， 我们的全职员工呢 ，have been loyal to the company， 对我们这个餐厅呢，我们的公司非常的忠誠。And we have a great team， 我们团队这么棒。I don't want to sacrifice that just to save a few bucks。我不要为了只省一点点钱 ，a small amount of money， 就把这个东西给牺牲掉了，这不值得。好，我决定要好好保护我的员工。
Chuck likes what he hears. That's why he says that's a respectable decision. That is a worthy or noble decision. N-O-B-L-E. Worthy, worth, W-O-R-T-H. 加 Y。那个 th 从 到 worth, but worthy. However, if business doesn't improve in the next month or two, we won't have a choice. There comes a time, especially when the whole economy is really hurting, it's really slow and low, no matter what you do, you might not be able to save your business.
没错，所以在这里的话 Chuck 就先讲 That's a respectable decision。所以在这里说，哇，能做这个决定真是太佩服了，老板，真的就是很感谢你这么照顾我们，对不对？However, if business doesn't improve in the next month or two， 但是如果我们的生意没有在接下来的1个月到2个月之内开始稳定回稳，然后开始这个不断的改善的话呢 ，we won't have a choice。这样到那个时候我们就没有别的选择了。
Okay, that's it for this section. We've got a bit more to do, but let's take a short break first. Okay, Greta says, I understand that the situation isn't favorable. Favorable means good for you. It will help you. It's good for you. But this situation isn't. A lot of businesses are hurting during this pandemic. In so far as I know, every country has this some of this problem. Some countries a lot, some countries a little, but no country is free from these kinds of problems. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. This is one of my favorite expressions in English. As you walk along a road, as you go through life, occasionally there will be a bridge to go over, say, a river, and then you make a decision. Are you going to go back or are you going to go forward? And that's why we say we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Some people say we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. Either one is okay, and it simply means that we'll wait and see what the situation is before we have to make a decision.
没错，所以说倒还有点那种见机行事，或者是说船到桥头自然直。现在不用想太多，时候到了，我们会知道怎么解决这些问题啊，多想也没有用，对不对？所以呢，这 Greta 就讲说了 ，I understand that the situation isn't favorable。好 ，isn't favorable 就是对我们来讲，这个状态、这整个环境啊等等，不是非常有利哦。这个我都了解啦 ，but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. 但是呢，船到桥头自然直，我们好好做，一定有办法的。
All right, says Chuck. I'll talk to the employees, to our staff, and work on our reduced menu. He'll talk with the cooks or chefs and maybe some of the waiters and waitresses as well, to find out what is selling and what isn't. And then we can reduce the number of items on our menu.
没错，所以接下来就说好，既然这样的话 ，All right, I'll talk to the employees. 好，那到后来这个店经理 Chuck 就讲说了，我会跟员工说 ，and work on our reduced menu， 然后再去想想这个删减菜单这件事情要怎么来做。
Thanks, Chuck, says the boss, says Greta. I'm sure we can get through this. I'm sure we can get through this together. To get through something is to succeed at something, something being a difficult situation.
没错，所以这边的话说 ，Thanks Chuck， 好，谢谢你 Chuck， 好 ，I'm sure we can get through this， 意思就是我们一定能够成功安然的度过这一关的。然后通常来讲 ，get through something 后面这个东西一定是一个难关啦，或是比较困难处理的任务。
I hope so, says Chuck. And I'm sure not just Chuck, but a lot of people around the world over the last year or two. Business has not been very good for most people in most places. All I can say is 加油. I hope the best for you all. Okay, now it's time for us to take another short break, and then we'll review the more important words and phrases. Okay, welcome back, and we'll finish with our review as usual. To make up my mind, to make up your mind, for her to make up her mind is to make a decision.
没错，就是下定决心做一个重要的决定。
Limiting, the verb to limit means to reduce or keep something simple.
Yeah, 所以 limit 这个字当动词使用，就是把东西限制在某个范围之内，或是减少、降低的意思。
Next is place an order for, and when you're in business, a lot of people will be doing this. People have to buy things, have to place an order for ingredients, place an order for furniture, and so on.
就是下订单去买什么东西 ，place an order 就是下订单，后面会接一个 for 介系词，再接你要买的东西。
Sacrifice can be used as a noun or a verb, and it means you have to give up something of yourself. It could be money, it could be time, it could be labor, but instead of keeping something and making yourself comfortable, you have to give it up.
Yeah, so sacrifice 就是去放弃掉什么什么事情，可能是你的时间、精神或者是钱，好，各种资源，甚至是生命。好 ，sacrifice 这个字的话，就是要放弃 to give up.
Respectable, our next word, again means worthy or noble.
Worthy or noble， 这边 respectable 的意思是来自于 respect， 如果任何事情是值得让你尊敬的，通常是值得你尊敬，或是做这个事情非常可敬的，都可以用 respectable 这个形容词。
Favorable, I like this word. If something is favorable, it's positive, it's helpful.
Favorable 是 something positive， 就是比较正向的，对你有利的、有帮助的，这种就叫做 favorable。
Employees are workers or staff.
Employees 就指员工的意思。那如果说你看到后面这个 employee 把它一去掉变成 r 的时候，就是 employer， 那就会是老板。好，这个是 employ 这个字衍生出来的字汇。
If you get through something, you survive it, you are able to live through it.
Get through something 就是平安度过的，或是能够好不容易能够完成某项任务，好，这种情况下都可以用 get through。get through 后面接的东西往往都是一些比较难关啦，或是很难的任务等等。
Okay, we've enjoyed being with you these 2 days. Hope you've enjoyed and learned something too. Until the next time,
bye-bye.